All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon. NBA video. So I wanted to try something new. These are going to be pick'em, so sports picks. So if you guys sports bet, these are what I want to look at. So found these in a group on Facebook, and I kind of just wanted to bring it to you guys. And hopefully you're able to take something from this. So if you guys are interested, these are NBA props that hit in at least 8 of the last 10 games. Green, the left pick, meaning they've hit the over. In red, the right pick, they've hit the under rate. So we'll kind of look at this, and we'll also look at NBA alt trends as well. So just kind of looking, and this is obviously for January 31st. We've got the 9 games. So looking at this, these are the ones that we can see in the NBA Overs Club. So if you guys find this video helpful, let me know. If this is something you kind of want, I would also love to know and continue this every single day. So depending on when the video gets out, how much exposure it gets, if you guys like it, let us know. So looking at this, some trends that jump out on the Overs Club. Daniel Gafford, over 0.5 steals. The odds right now are minus 214. He's hit 9 of the last 10 games. Herbert Jones, 8.5 points, over 8.5 points, 90% of the time he's hit that. Wendell Carter, over half a 3-point, so 1 3-pointer made in the game. He's hit 90% in the last 10 games. Nick Claxton, at least 1 steal, 90% of the time. Max Strus, over 2.5 assists, 80% of the time. Max Strus, over 3.5 rebounds, also 80% of the time. Go to Detroit, we've got Jalen Duren, over 1.5 assists, 80% of the time. Cade Cunningham in that same game, over 27.5 points plus assists, 80% of the last 10 games, so 8 of the last 10 games. Moving on to the Washington Wizards plays. We've got Kyle Kuzma, over 10.5 rebounds plus assists. He's hit that 80% of the time. Daniel Gafford, over 8.5 rebounds and assists there, 80% of the time. Moving to the Clippers, we've got Terrence Mann, at least 1 3-pointer in a game. He's hit 80% in the last 10 games. Kawhi Leonard, over half a block, so 1+ block in the game, 80% of the time. Then we move to the Sacramento Kings. We got Keegan Murray, 80% of the time in those games, over 1.5 steals plus blocks, and Jalen Green, at least 1 steal in a game, 80% of the time in the last 10 games. Moving to the Unders Club. So personally, it depends on what kind of bettor you are, but personally, I don't like betting unders. I am more of the under is for other people. I don't want to do unders, but these are choices that you have for looking at for unders. So these unders have hit in at least 8 of the last 10 games. So 90% of 10 games, 9 of the last 10 games these have hit. So these are not 100% guaranteed, obviously, but Miles Bridges, under 30.5 points plus assists, has hit 90% in the last 10 games. Nick Richards, under a half a steal, 90%. That one always scares me because a steal can happen at any time. So I'm always a little bit weary of steals. In the same game with the Hornets, PJ Washington, under 3.5 assists, 90% of the time. Brandon Miller, under 1.5 steals plus blocks, 90% of the time as well. So for Cleveland, if you're on that Max Strus, if you want to do, same game parlay with the same player, under 2.5 3 points made, 90% of the time. Jalen Duren, under 1.5 steals plus blocks, 90% of the time. Clippers, so Terrence Mann, under half a block, 90% of the time. This is one that scares me a lot because it's not, I don't want to say it's easy, but I mean, just one up and block it, and that's it. We could be looking at that. Kind of scared about that. Mason Plumlee, under 9.5 rebounds plus assists, 90% of the time. Moving to Miami, we've got Tyler Hero, under 1.5 steals plus blocks. He's hit that 90% of the time. Jimmy Butler, under half a block, 90% of the time. Sacramento Kings, we got De'Aaron Fox. 90% of the time, he's gotten under 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Moving on to Anthony Edwards, under half a block, 90% of the time. Brandon Ingram, under 2.5 turnovers per game, 90% of the last 10 games. And then Markelle Fultz, under 6.5 rebounds plus assists in the last 10 games. Then we move on to the NBA trends. So these are ones that have happened 100% of the time the last 10 games. Jarrett Allen has gotten at least 10 plus points in the last 10 games. Antetokounmpo, 20 plus points in the last 10 games. Kyle Kuzma has gotten at least 6 plus rebounds in his last 10 games. Jarrett Allen, 10 plus rebounds in the last 10 games. Kuzma, 4 plus assists in those games. So a lot of trends you can see that you could do same game parlay, or you could have the same player props if you want to build a massive one. So you could, now, again, the best way to do it would be bet these single, but a lot of people love to bet parlays. Not always the best way to do it, but that's what we've got. You've got, so Kuzma, 4 plus assists. Kawhi Leonard, 2 plus assists. Michael Bridges, 2 plus 3-pointers. And Jaden McDaniels, at least 1 plus 3-pointer in the last 10 games. So those are some of the bets that you have for today. If you got questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. If this is something you liked, hit the like button as well. If you have not already, check out our video that we have for the NBA DFS breakdown. If you play both DFS and sports betting, I will have that linked at the end of this video. So good luck on sports betting today. Let's bring home some bacon. Peace.